follow-up to the Evil Dead remake, you really took a different turn and kind of stripped everything down. Can you talk a little bit about the different experiences and how this one has kind of shown a different side of you as a filmmaker?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously the big difference for me was to be working on something that was completely my own material, right? That was starting from a white page, and I could go out and show the movie to the audience without then having any expectation, and more importantly, without having to compare with any other movie. Like, and I'm proud of my Evil Dead, but I was always at the same time, you always had that constant comparison with the originals, and with all the right, because, you know, when you make it a remake, you're taking a lot of ideas from the original, so that's gonna happen. So it was great to be able, and so satisfying to be able to make a film that is just your own. There's nothing to compare with. And that was the key also, like, make sure that I made a film that you couldn't compare with anything. Because, and that's why I think it's so unique, that you can find, you know, it's kind of a reverse Wait Until Dark and things like that. But at the end of the day, exactly like that, there's very few movies that are that story, like and a villain like that one. You've never seen it before. And just as a filmmaker, as a writer, creating things that that at least me as an audience I haven't seen before, it's always a great satisfaction. Right?
Yeah, I think that's why audiences who have seen it are connecting with it so well. And another part of what leads to success is your cast. You have such a great watchable cast. I mean, you really can't take your eyes off of any of them, and there's no one that you're rooting for.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about how you chose your cast.
I think, you know, like some of the, it's always strange, the casting process, right? Like Jane, obviously, she was the first person to read the script, and she wasn't available when she read it, but then eventually when we were going to make the film, like 2 weeks before we started shooting, like, she became available, and she came on board. And then Dylan and Money, I mean Dylan and Danny, they got in different ways. Like, Dylan was exactly how I had the character in the page, exactly like him. He walked in and was like, "It's you, you got it, that's it." And then and Danny did something completely different of what was in the page. It had nothing to do with the character, but he was the only one doing something that was completely different than everybody else was doing. So that's why he got the part. He really showed me a better character that was in the script. And then of course Stephen Lang, you know, it was one of those that it was just too good to be true. When I saw the picture, it was just exactly how it was described in the script, without really writing the script for him. And because he has played the military guy in the past, and he knows that character, but never like this, right? Never blind. So that really took him to use all that knowledge that he had of that character and do it in a way that was so believable and convincing that this guy, you know, has almost served. Like, you don't doubt for a second that he's been to war, right?
Exactly. Now, since this movie is so unique unto itself, what do you sort of hope the legacy will be of Don't Breathe?
A legacy is a big word. Hopefully they remember they exist next year. But I mean, I'm not too ambitious that way. I just want to entertain the audience when they go to watch it, and I want to give them something that they cannot just shake off and forget the next day. And you do that with not just with story, but with characters, and the actors do that with their performances. And I think The Blind Man is someone that, because he's so unique and so powerful, you get to know him so closely, so intimate, with a character that barely speaks, but you get to understand him so much, and that I think he has potential to be someone that stays with you, and he represents so many things in a way also. So, you know, hopefully, yes, the movies will live longer. I make movies in my future and attempt to live forever, obviously, like most filmmakers do. And you want to do things that stay, and that was my intention with Evil Dead and with this one, to really make things that you cannot just ignore and dismiss as just another movie, right?